Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Pierre Laguerre here, your daily motivator. Today with episode 344. Are you ready? Come on now. Let's go challenge, inspire, and motivate you today. So, once again, I am back. And today we're talking about time management. Many people have told me, Pierre, I'd love to do your 90-day challenge, but it's really about my time. I've only got so much time that I can pour into everything that I'm doing. Are you sure this is going to help me? And more importantly, how can you be sure? So, as I promised on yesterday's Daily Motivator, I want to give you some key nuggets on how to manage your time. Yep, it's amazing because this is coming from the guy that used to take everything on. I used to take on everybody's issues, everybody's tasks, and pile it on my own plate. Now, that's what I call a glutton for punishment. The reason was very simple. I used to try to please everybody else. But I got to a place in my life where that stopped. Thank God, when you get married, you have children, you realize where your time needs to be devoted the most. It's no longer to the boys out there, as in to the games, running left and right. You have to really challenge yourself and really come to understand what time management is all about. So, what exactly is the order in which you should, and I say should, but this is a strong should. I really should say you must. But I'll back up. You should manage your time in such a way that you don't fall into the traps of taking more than you can handle or the traps of having little return for where you invest your time. So let's delve into it. So we got a 90-day challenge coming up. Matter of fact, it starts tomorrow. If you're still interested, don't hesitate. Go on the link on this particular episode, pierrelaguerre.com/90-day challenge, and join in. At least participate. At least join in rather, and see if you can handle the heat. What? What do you mean, Pierre? I already don't have time with everything else that I'm doing. How can I devote even more time to yet something else? How can I add something else to my plate? Isn't that what you said at the beginning? You used to put everything else on your plate? No. I respect you. If you tell me, look, I just don't have the time for this because I'm already committed to something else where I'm managing my time pretty well, I respect that. And I say, go for it. You're doing the right thing. But if you tell me, well, Pierre, you know what? I do have some issues managing my time. I do have some issues managing my finances. I do have some issues managing my health. I do have some issues managing my life. And I'm going to come back to you and say, what is the greatest asset that you have in all this? Is it money? No. What is the greatest resource that every man has been given on this earth? Well, it's a resource that we've all been given in equal quantities. Oh, I hear you. Well, Pierre, some people have been given only 40 years. Some people have been given only 80 years. Yeah, I hear you. But every day that you wake up, what is the amount of time that you have allocated for you in that day? 24 hours, right? I don't know. I've been to Europe, and usually there they also have 24 hours. When I've been to California, 24 hours. Upstate New York, 24 hours. Here in Puerto Rico, they have the same 24 hours every day. Yep, 24 hours. That's your investment. You want to put it in seconds, 86,400 seconds. Now, the question is, how well will you leverage your time? What are you going to put your time towards, seeing that it's fleeting? Well, let me give you a quick one. First and foremost, you got to spend time in your quiet place. You have to have a time of prayer. You have to have a time where you spend it with God, your most high Lord. You must have a time for that, because at the end of the day, you are not a robot. You are not without a spirit. You are not just a man like a beast of the earth. You have a soul. You have a spirit. You have been made in the image of the Almighty God himself. And whether you believe it or not, the point is, you have the makeup of your heavenly Father. You have a spirit of spirits, that you come from the invisible. And here you're showing up in a realm where everything is visible. You've been given a body so that you can live in this realm. So now, how are you going to divide your time? And I don't mean to get theological on you or philosophical on you, but your time indeed is the greatest asset that you have. So let's go for it. Number one, you got to spend time in your quiet place, time with God, prayer time, right? You've got to spend that time, the silence time, so that you can think, right? But what's number two? You've got to find time for your spouse. If you're a married man or woman, you've got to make your spouse a priority. When I was married here with my wife, she and I, every Friday, we spent time together. And it happened consistently. We always went out on Fridays. Now, we were blessed to have my parents living nearby so we could live our kids with them once we had kids, right? But because we had made it a habit before we ever had kids, it was easy to continue on that habit. Now, that's number one. Number two, no, that was number two actually, with your spouse. Number one is with God. Number three, or the third place you need to really put your time, prioritize your time, it's with your children. While you have children, they will look to you for your time. Trust me, I got 3 of them, and they love to ask me for my time. My youngest, Daddy, I'm just sitting here, just came to spend time with you. I just want to spend time with you, Daddy. Daddy, could you read me this book? And I bet it's the same with you. Your children, whether you have a single or multiple, they want to spend time with you. And for you fathers that have a job or you're building a business, if you don't make time for your children, somebody else will. And that somebody else at first may be YouTube, it may be the games on their computers or their tablets, their phone, but something else will capture their attention. Remember, you only have a short moment to capture their attention. Before you know it, 12, 15, 18 years have gone by. While you are slaving away on a computer or whatever it is that you do, white collar or blue collar work, you are letting time, the most important, impressionable time of their lives, pass them by. Now, let me back up to the spousal situation. Men, I'm speaking to you. You have to date your wife consistently. Yes, you have to date her. Not your business. No, not having eyes for somebody else. No, you must date your wife. Not putting your children above your wife. No, not putting your mother above your wife. Man, come on, I'm speaking to you. You have to date that woman. You took a vow and said, till death do you part. And if you're not married to that woman, well, maybe it's about time you honor that woman and marry her so that you can be truly, fully committed to her under a covenant that you've announced before the entire world that you will honor that woman. So what? Marriages may end up 50% going their way. So what? You still need to honor that woman. You still need to put your best foot forward. Okay, I'm done crushing your toes. Let's get back to the fourth place to put your time. It's got to be your business. What about your business? Well, let's stop right there. Your business is basically the place you're cultivating to take care of your family. But before the business, what causes the business to flow, there's another place you're going to put your time that's going to cause the business to flow. If you want great referrals in business, you need to serve people right. You need to do right by them, which means you need to value those relationships. I know I'm taking a little time on this today, on this Daily Motivator episode, but it's very important because you have to understand relationships, right, that flow into your business are some of the most important ones. You're going to have relationships that last for a season. Maybe you work with somebody in the same company, but once you guys go your different, your part company, right, they no longer are interested in you because you're no longer running in the same direction. And then you're going to have relationships in business and even on the job where it doesn't matter how far you go, you will always have a friendship. So after your family, your friends, you have to choose your friends, carefully. And by the way, men and women, you don't have more than 10 friends. Come on now. Facebook Instagram, all these things, they're just a way for you to connect with people and develop and cultivate your relationships. You can count on one hand the number of friends you truly have. Yep, I said it. You may think you have 100 friends. Not possible. You may think you have 50. Not possible. You have acquaintances, people that you have maybe had some fellowship with. But with a friend, they're going to tell you the truth regardless of whether you like it or not. Now, let's be truthful. How many people like that do you have in your life? Not many, right? So, again, if we want to prioritize your time, let's go to God, quiet place, time of prayer, time of meditation. Let's go to your spouse, the person that you made a vow to, you entered into a covenant with to live life with. Let's go to your children, the people that you have to impress above anybody else, the people you have to educate, you have to guard their minds while they are impressionable. You have to basically guide them, right? You have to provide for them. But unfortunately, men, we focus so much on the provision aspect that we forget about the time we must spend with our children. Sunday, I sat down with mine and we went over our time. How well are we spending our time? And how do we need to spend it moving forward? Right? It's been 3 months more since their mom is no longer in this world, since she has departed to heaven. So we've talked about our time, my wife and I, and we've used the calendar. Oh yeah, that's the best tip for you. Use the calendar with your spouse. It's going to make your life so much easier when there is no more lack of communication, when there's no more assumptions. Outside of the time you have to work, you got to have a time on your calendar where you say, honey, this is where I'll be. Honey, I'm going here. Honey, let's plan things. Let's go here. Let's go there. Let's do that. Put it on the calendar. Find a yearly calendar, find a monthly calendar, find a weekly calendar, and put down the things you're planning to do with your family. Plan them out as far ahead as possible so that when they come up and other things try to take their place, you've already committed. It's going to be a lot easier for you. So again, if you're listening this far, I applaud you because you understand the importance of your time management. I'm giving you a little more today because I want you to have the meat of time management. It's not hard, but it's not easy either. It's about committing yourself to it. Being accountable is nothing more than taking ownership of your time. Once you respect and value your time, you will respect and value other people's time. And then you will recognize you have to be in constant communication so that you do not violate the time you've allocated for them, and you do not violate the time you've allocated for yourself either. It's very important that you stick to your guns when it comes to the things you know are important to help you move forward. You've got to have personal development time. This is important. You want to move forward, you want to grow, you want to get better at managing your money, managing your time, you have to put in some personal development. You have to change your mind. You have to improve your mindset, which means you're going to have to read. You're going to have to take some notes on what you're reading. Here's a interesting statistic. Less than 10% of those who graduated college are still reading a book every month or even every year. That's crazy. Which means we just go with the flow. Now, understand that readers are leaders. So if you really want to manage your time, you're going to have to set time aside to read. Now, you may want to go even further. Find some mentors in the realm where you want to go. Learn from them. They've gone further than you've gone in the field of interest that you have. If you want to become an expert, you want to master it, you want to become an authority, you're going to have to spend some time with others that are in authority. Right? So, again, it's very simple. Start at the top and move down. And in the process, manage the things that are important so that they don't quickly become urgent and therefore steal more time away from you. I want you to understand that your time is so important. Do not let it just be squandered away or stolen from you. Put your foot down as to how you will manage your time, and before you know it, you will have your priorities in order. So again, it's Pierre Laguerre here, your daily motivator. I hope I've challenged you, inspired you, and motivated you today. Go ahead, comment, 90-day challenge starts tomorrow. Go ahead and go to pierrelaguerre.com/90-day challenge and join us. Let's help you manage your time one day at a time. Enjoy.